How about now? Yeah, now we got to.
Make a coffee.
Yeah. How's that?
I've turned it off completely here.
Okay. You getting sound? Nothing? Well, I'm getting sound on mine. I know I'm getting. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Oh,
now we got it.
delayed because it's delayed because it's
okay.
Now we got no feedback.
Yeah,
it'll come back.
Yeah, you're about 10 seconds behind, so it should be good now.
Yeah, it'll come in and out here while we're trying to get this set up. Here we go.
Okay, so the first question was about classroom and how the make a copy is kind of finicky. It disappears on people. Why is it disappearing? Will?
Well, the default answer is always to clear your cache and restart your browser.
Clear the cache.
And I'm not sure exactly why it would disappear, other than it just throwing an error.
Yeah, maybe cross profile issue with the, I don't know, your cache, I guess. So clearing the cache seems to work though, eh?
Yeah, I've heard from a few people have said clearing the cache works, which is always a good choice when you're playing with extensions and things in Chrome. Yeah. The other thing I know Aaron was sharing this morning, he was sharing that the new apps in Classroom allow you to upload photos and multiple photos. I don't know if you mentioned that if you pick the add a photo from Camera Reel, you can actually select video files as well, and they'll go up.
Oh, really?
Yes, I did it just the other day. So you can actually submit video from the Reel on the iOS or Android device to Classroom.
So from right out of the gallery.
Right out of the gallery or the Camera Reel, depending on what
whatever the option.
Gallery on the Android, and then the Camera Reel on the iOS, which would mean that any of your iOS apps that output to the Camera Reel, you would be able to upload those files to Classroom.
Oh, nice.
So that is actually pretty slick.
Yeah, I think our language teachers might be interested in that. And
speaking of that, I think I'm going to be doing a session for them at their Languages Day.
Oh, are you?
Yes. So
excellent. When is that Languages Day?
I believe it's February 2nd. It's the same day as the Catchment PL Day. So those second language teachers who maybe don't have a partner in their catchment can come together and work there, and I'll be there.
Cool.
Yeah. Should be fun.
Aaron?
What would you like me to fill time with?
Not getting any. Maybe Terry will type a question. Terry, type a question in the question thing.
I'll see if it works.
Oh, there's we got a question. Okay.
Thank you, Dennis.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
look at how eager we are. We're all like eating over.
That is a great School Zone question, Dennis. So getting set up for payments through School Zone. So there's a couple steps you have to do. I would contact Wendy Johnson with the School Zone team directly and just tell her that you're interested in being put on the list to have payments set up at your school. It's sort of a two-step thing. One part is School Zone, and one part is creating a school account with our online banking partner, which is Chase Banking Online. They're the vendor that does the actual transactions for you.
So the school has to set up both accounts?
Well, School Zone will be flipped over by the School Zone team to enable that for your DU. But before they can do that, they need you to get your banking information set up so that it's all aligned. So when it goes live, the Chase Bank's expecting transactions to be occurring for your school. And there are there's like some one-time setup costs, things that go with that, just like any debit machine or online banking system. There's always.
We don't know what those costs are, though, do you?
Well, I don't want to speak just because the costs were around a couple $100 to set up, and then the monthly fee depends on the size of your school and the number of transactions and things like that. So I would just email Wendy Johnson. She can get you on that list and answer any of your really specific questions.
Awesome. Okay, so we had a question. I had another question, and I can't remember what it was. I wrote it down on the sticky, and I didn't bring it.
Oh, look, there's a new question about Chromebooks and Samsung, HP, and Acer Chromebooks.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want me to take that one?
Yeah, why don't you? No, you take that one. You go ahead.
So just a heads up to everyone in the district. Currently, the Chromebook of choice for a number of reasons, especially with the 3-year warranty, is the ignore the stickers on mine here, but this Acer 710, 720 if you want the touchscreen. Samsung's no longer really in the business of producing Chromebooks anymore. So if your school has Samsungs, you may want to take a closer look at the Acer 710 if you need to purchase more. Also, in the next couple of months or so, we will have some HP Chromebooks available as well. So just keep checking back at the ITS store. That's its.epsb.ca for more information about the different types of Chromebooks. I know some people seem to think that they have to have Samsungs, but they already have Samsungs in their school. And really, if you were to take these things apart, they're basically the same thing, because remember, you're just going to the web to get your experience. So if you've got any other questions about that, feel free to contact one of us or your ITS tech for more information about Chromebooks and the future of which ones we'll be having or not having.
Cool.
Thanks for that question.
Yep.
I didn't see the name on that one.
I didn't see the name on that one either.
disappeared pretty quick.
Those HP ones are looking pretty nice too. They're pretty sturdy.
Yeah, yeah. I think the kicker for me with these Acer ones is just the 3-year warranty.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, now that we're seeing many come back any which way, but definitely anytime you can have the warranty for the length of the life of the device for no cost, that seems like a pretty good option.
Well, I have it on a good authority that the new Acers are going to come with a brace. So you know when they grab them and they turn them and the screen's kind of. So this is all a lot more reinforced and stable. So that should reduce that
Nice.
that bit of breakage.
Will, I know you've done a little bit with Android and other devices. Do you want to speak a little bit about, I know we get a lot of questions about iPads, iPad minis, Android, Samsung devices, things like that. What's the landscape right now regarding Android devices in Edmonton Public Schools?
Well, student-owned devices log in and are treated like a BYOD device. They get on our network, and the students can log directly into their Google Drive and other Google products with their EPSB account. Students don't actually have any, we don't manage the student Android side, so basically other than the account side, so we can see their docs and keep sure that they're not doing things they shouldn't be on the network side, but we don't actually have the ability to control the device or lock it down. We are looking at, with Google Play for education, which is in the States and coming to Canada soon, the ability to manage Android tablets. But there are a lot of drawbacks to those. They have to be assigned to a real Google account, so a user in our district. We can set up shared, but only for about 5 students at a time, and those students are the same 5 forever on that device until somebody sits down and touches them, unlike the Chromebook where, you know, if the 6th person were to join, it would kick the first one off. It doesn't do that on the Android. So basically it's a set once and hope, and if that student leaves and a new student comes in, somebody has to manually go to that device and deal with it. So it's a lot of work. Right now we're trying them out in a 1-to-1 setting though to see how they fare in 1-to-1. So it's just where you're saying, oh, we want to buy all our grade 7s a device. Well, handing to the students they can log in, great. And then we have some management abilities. We can only let them have the apps we push. We can add content and take it away. We can lock that device if it were to go missing.
You're talking about Androids here? Or
Android.
Chromebooks? Oh, wow, cool.
Android, yeah.
That's awesome.
So basically it gives you a lot of the same things that we can do in Configurator. The big advantage to the Android is for schools where they have teachers that want to have live access, because the actual ability to push apps and books and video goes right to the classroom teacher if you'd like it. So the teacher could say,
That's
you know,
handy, yeah.
for the devices assigned to the science department for the science kids, we can push these apps and they get them immediately without any lag. But the setup is pretty, to be honest, pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. So we're learning about it, and I think with time that will evolve into something that will be more where we need it to be to get it to work day one. But if anyone has questions, they can send me an email.
I think you said a key word in all that too. Is it's 1-to-1 really is.
At the end of the day, yeah.
At the end of the day, other than a 1-to-1 setting, I'm not really recommending them today. Anyone?
Excellent.
We have another question.
Another one
Popped
from
up.
our admin support is any training.
And you can see half of Mark Dyer in our presentation. There he goes.
There he goes. Okay, so online passport and school zone, that's going to be coming up in the spring. So as to whether there's going to be training, I know we're going to be creating some training materials. So there will be some online screen videos, a support site through the School Zone Health, and things like that to help you. I'm not sure if the School Zone team at this point has decided to do in-person training. That's a great question that I can take to our next School Zone team meeting and say, are we prepared to do that? Having seen the actual interface, it's probably not going to be from your end that's going to need the training, because it's pretty straightforward. If the students fill it out, it just ends up being entered for you as opposed to the paper copy in the past. It's going to be more about training for the parents to make sure that they have their school zone password, because it's only going to work through the parent account. So getting in touch with your parents that haven't logged in a while, making sure they can get in, and then having them having them have access to that video tutorial. Having been through it, it's really straightforward. Like I was saying earlier this morning, just looks at their address. This is the school we expect you to go to. Yes or no. If you click yes, that's it.
Automated.
It's
So
automated.
The process is easy. It's just making sure that we have parents logging in and knowing how to use them.
Yeah, it's pretty intuitive.
The second part of that question is a good one too. What about students new to our district? Well,
Students new to our district are going to go through the enrollment process like they always have, because they're not in the school zone. Right?
just
Their
go to the
parents don't
office
have an
and-
account. They're going to come to the office. They're going to do a new student registration form as they've always done.
Yep.
From that point, though, as they transition year to year and school to school, they'll be able to go through school zone to do that. But yeah, because with new student registration, they have to provide proof of address, maybe some other student records, birth certificate, things like that to verify age and things, which we're not really prepared to do online at this time.
cool. Other questions? Don't see anything in the queue. I think that's probably, we've answered a couple questions. We've
At least one person was watching.
at least
Two,
one-
not two
we had a
people were
couple
watching. Yeah. We gotta get one more.
I was thinking maybe just talk about our web presence now that we've got an easier website to
Sure,
visit.
sure, yeah.
So,
Good idea.
There you go.
Your screen is what we're seeing.
So, what you should be seeing now, I'll just give it a couple seconds to confirm this.
Yep.
Is an easier way to get a hold of us now. Before it used to be through email or finding our Google site if you had bookmarked one of our sites. I'm just waiting to make sure you guys can see this.
Yeah, why are we seeing something different here?
Paused out on the wrong tab.
No feed, eh, Terry?
Oh, here it comes now. Now you're fixing it on.
Yeah.
We're watching the delay.
Yeah. Watching delayed
This
feed.
is going to be really
But
delayed.
this is the live
Yeah.
feed, right? And it's
Yeah, the live one's looking good.
It's coming, and then
Yeah.
they got stuck on that
I
one.
got
though.
stuck on it.
Okay, let's see. Maybe we can.
If you're watching
You know
this
what, I usually do
after
it.
the fact, you may want to just skip ahead about a minute. Not now, actually, because now that you're hearing this, it's never mind. Just
Regardless, you can hear what we're saying. You can't see it. The easiest way to get to us while we try to figure out which screen one to share
stop.
is just to go to tips.epsb.ca. So again, that's just tips, tips.epsb.ca. And that should take you to our site, and that's probably the easiest way to get a hold of us. You can also just email us at the tips list within Gmail as well.
Yep.
And so to remember that we all work together, so if you need a group of us to come out, we can work at some of your bigger common PD days. I know we've been booked pretty solid for those early in the year, but if you've got other days or events, feel free to contact us. And we primarily work in our areas again. Rick, you're with which area?
Bowling.
And Will's with?
The catchment formerly known as the Doherty's catchment, which is still Mark's catchment until I hear different.
Until
so.
further notice.
Yeah.
And I'm with Ron McNeil's catchment area, and Janet is with Kathy's area.
Yeah.
But again, we can all work together. It doesn't mean that we only work with those schools, but that's our primary focus, to work with those schools, and then work with other areas as well.
And also, plug, lots of people don't know, if you go to help.epsb.ca, you'll see a lot of self-serve support materials that we've developed over the years. For Read and Write, for example, there's a whole chunk of stuff there to help you out.
I know one thing, maybe we'll bring it up. I know in the last couple of weeks, and Will, you might want to speak to it more, there were some issues on the Google side, the iOS side, regarding certificates and adding your email and stuff like that. So I think, long story short, if you had some problems in the last couple of weeks installing your email, dealing with some certificates, there were some issues a couple of weeks ago, and our understanding is those were resolved, right?
Yeah, I was having a really hard time. In fact, I couldn't get into anything District Google on my iPhone for about 3 days. but it seems like that resolved itself early this week, end of last week. So I would suggest pulling the certificate off and putting it back on. And there's actually, I think, a help video at help.epsb.ca showing you how to do that. So, or you can check me out on Google+. I think it's in my stream as well. But yeah, there were some big issues, and it's growing pains, right? It's new. iOS, Android, Apple hasn't let anybody put management on their devices until now. So it's just been Apple, and now it's Google as well.
Cool. Good to see those things get sorted out.
Do I want to just press mute and wait for any questions we get, or
I think we'll probably
try to eat some food?
go eat some food. Yeah.
To our 7 viewers,
Yeah. Awesome.
thank you for coming out.
Thanks for coming out. We'll start up our next sessions at I think 1 o'clock is our start time. Am I right about that? It's off the top of my head. Yep. 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
All right. See you at 1.